So some of you may have noticed I'm starting to get a chance to work through comments. I've got a new best friend who really doesn't like me and doesn't think I'm all that smart. Yet they like to watch and comment to tell me that they don't think I'm fucking very smart. It's very fun. I love it. Because my old person like that, I don't know. He's starting to get, like, I don't know. He's getting absurd even for him. So I think he's starting to crack. I think the stress is getting to him. I think he's seeing the writing on the wall with all this shady ass shit that's going on, and I think he's just panicking at this point. He's just grasping at straws, it seems like, in his comments now. This is ridiculous. So I might have lost him. I'm not saying he's gone. He seems to be sticking around, but I don't know. I think I just might have lost. I think we all just kind of might have lost him. I think he might have kind of lost him. I don't know. But I got a new one, and I've started noticing him a lot. And then I saw one of his. We got into a conversation with somebody, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the dude that blames everything on the Jews." So I was happy because I was like, "Oh, I got a new person trying to fuck with me," but then I was like, "Oh yeah, you're that guy." So because I like, for those of you who don't like me, and you're watching this so that you can tell me why it is that you didn't like what I had to say here, I want you to know this one thing. I very much enjoy talking to you guys. I really, really do. But when you get to the point where you become so basic it's predictable, it's just not as fun anymore. Like, that's why I'm kind of upset that the one dude's pretty much losing his fucking marbles. He was fun to talk back and forth with, because he always thought he had good points. And I love people that always think they have good points, because sometimes they do. Sometimes, nevertheless. And with this new guy, it's like, well, now I remember that everything goes back to being the Jews' fault. Everything's the Jews' fault. It's all Israel and fucking Zionists and this, that, and it's all the Jews. So, yeah, I don't know. One guy was Andrew Yang's supporter, and he's like, don't blame Andrew Yang people. They don't do that. They're such good people. It's the algorithm for YouTube. The problems are even happening to Andrew Yang and his people. His stuff's being... Andrew Yang's videos, they're being fucked with too. Motherfucker. Alright, look, kid. I've been in this game now for fucking like 5-6 years. Alright? I've done all manner of different genres of YouTube. And I know how this shit fucking works. Like, I've done more playing with it than you've probably been doing it. So, I'm going to explain it to you like this, right? When you make a video that pokes a particular, let's say, golden calf, right? False idol, that's where that comes from. You poke a particular golden calf, and then all the crazy hedonists go, no, you're poking my golden calf. And it really pisses them off when you answer them in video in a very kind of belittling and insulting way. I can't help myself, because I'm sorry. If you're gonna act like that, I figure this is how we're acting. So I'm gonna act like that, but always just better than you. You ever seen Deadpool 2? You know Shatterstar? I love Shatterstar. You wanna know why? I identify a lot with Shatterstar. I also just kind of do everything better than you. So, here's the thing. When you piss people off a whole lot because you're not only poking their golden calf, but you're taking the things that they say, and now you're fucking with them. Because it's like they've made this personal for them. I'm taking Andrew Yang's brainwashing. This is now my brain. Right? So now everything I say is a personal attack against Andrew Yang, my golden calf, if you shit on it, right? But some of them think, well, you know, if I'm going to help him with this con, I have to figure out my own way to say it. So they figure out their own way to say it. And then when you start taking their language and tearing it the fuck apart too, because you're doing the math and shit, pisses them off, right? People don't like that shit. People don't like to be told that they're wrong. You think they like it more when you're proving them wrong? No! They like that shit actually quite a bit less. So then they start doing goofy things. Now, they can't flag it for harassment or anything like that. They can't reasonably flag it for fucking anything. But they just gotta do something. They gotta feel like they're doing something. I'm getting my fucking revenge. Right? Because he made me feel like an asshole. And I'm not gonna look inward at maybe I'm an asshole. I'm gonna instead focus on turning all of my anger at myself on him. Because I feel stupid and it's his fault. So they start just hitting buttons. Whatever fucking buttons. Yeah, flag it for something. I don't care. Just fucking fuck that guy. Just flag him for shit. Right? And then I get a whole lot of comments. I start fucking with him more. It turned into like a whole week worth of thing. Right? And during that fucking time, I'm getting notifications from YouTube that I'm getting flagged for spam. Never before. And not now. Now that all of that's in the past and I've given up on them, they're just fucking crazy and brainwashed. I'm done with them. No problems. It's almost as if I got into a bunch of fights with Andrew Yang assholes, and all of a sudden my videos were being flagged for spam, or my comments were, whatever the fuck it was. I am pointing my finger at who it belongs pointed at. Motherfucker. You guys. And if you're aligned with them, if you're supportive of that, you're just as much of an asshole as they are. If you can't beat me by just explaining your side better, it's because your side's fucking stupid. And I figured out how to fuck it up. And you lost. Admit it. And come over to the side with the winners. It's actually not like really a thing. You can just go, you know what? You had a better argument than me. Instead of being a little bitch and trying to get you shut down, maybe I'll revisit my thoughts, think about it a little harder, grab the old calculator and do some of the math. And then maybe you'll just kind of win out on the merit of your argument. Maybe I'll fucking figure it out. I don't know. Maybe it's that instead of, you know, let's shut this motherfucker down. Whatever. Some people just are never going to change. And that's the thing of it, isn't it? Yeah, so it's been fun reading comments. Now with the video.
Who run Bartertown?
You know who.
You know him, you love him. He's
See? 9 minutes and like some change. Had that been 10 minutes or more, I'd have said fuck it, just made that its own video. But now, that's the intro. That's how I judge it these days. Anything over 10 minutes is his own video. We're cutting it close. So, the actual video is probably going to be shorter than the intro, which is funny. This might just be me yelling at people and then bonus. But everybody's starting to point out something that honestly I wanted to make a video about like fucking last week. But I figured it was obvious, and apparently it was. But everybody's starting to point out how everything's behind closed doors. The investigation, I mean, this is an impeachment investigation, right? The President of the United States. You'd think that the people who constantly bitch about the President covering things up and always trying to obscure shit and hide things, that this would be the group of people that wanted to impeach him publicly. They've wanted to publicly do everything else. They've wanted to publicly have every bit of the whole Mueller thing out there. They leak as much as they possibly could. They leak everything they possibly can. They want everything to be out in the open. We want to have everybody testify. We need everybody to testify so that the American people can see for themselves. And now all of a sudden, everything's behind closed doors. So it's like, what's going on here? Now I don't need to know? Now that we're getting towards impeaching the president, now I don't need to know the truth anymore? What's going on? It's very odd. And it's very odd that, like, now everything's got to be behind closed doors, but it's like people who are on record as not liking the president openly. So, what the fuck? Like, these are the people I want to hear talk the most. I know what the people that like the president are going to say. They're going to go, you're all crazy, this is a witch hunt. I know! I want to hear what the people that don't like the president have to say. Why all of a sudden are you hiding them? What the fuck? Here's the kicker. Is, like, the press allowed to be in there for that shit? Are they releasing transcripts? Is this some shit where I just don't know what's going on? Like, I don't know. But I mean, I would be reviewing hearings. Everybody knows I love to do that shit. I got no hearings. Everything's behind closed doors. But I read an article the other day that had all sorts of stuff that apparently this lady said during this closed-door hearing. Is the press in there? Or is this all just leak shit? Like, are we leaking more? Is this, we're doing a closed-door hearing, we'll leak to you what we want you to know? Is that the case? So, I'm getting suspicious 3 years ago as to the validity of all this shit and what the fuck is actually going on here. Beyond all that, I read this article. Now, I don't know. This is what I heard was said behind closed doors by the former diplomat to the Ukraine of the United States. Apparently, she says that Donald Trump and her had been butting heads about investigating Joe and Hunter Biden and their involvement in all this shit for years. And I thought to myself, well, then there you go. He's been talking about wanting to investigate this shit for years. There you go. Right? Like, the whole problem of it is, he's asking a foreign country to look into a political rival. Joe Biden is running for president, right? So if Joe Biden wasn't running for president, if he was just the former vice president, just a fucking dude, wouldn't matter, right? Well, years ago, Joe Biden was just a dude. He was the former vice president. So if they've been butting heads over this shit for years, and Donald Trump finally got rid of her, right? And now there's a new Ukraine president who's more amenable to, like, I don't know, looking into corruption. Now all of a sudden things can happen. And this thing that he's been looking into for years, since long before Joe Biden was running for president, right? Now he can't look into because that's illegal because Joe Biden's running for president. So I'm like, well, isn't that it? Like, isn't that the thing? He's been looking into this shit for years. Doesn't matter. You can't just say, well, yeah, he started years ago when Joe Biden wasn't his political rival looking into this, but now that he's still looking into it and Joe Biden's his political... I am running for president of the United States every fucking year. Every fucking year of my life. I don't care if there's an election. I will be eternally running for president from this point on. Because I'm going to say anytime anybody would like to levy any sort of accusations against me at all, you're going against a political rival. I'm running for president. Sorry. You can't. Fuck your traffic ticket, man. No. It's the get out of jail free card, apparently. Like, what in the fuck? And now I hear that Hunter Biden is stepping down from the board of another company. A Chinese company? I'm like, how many languages does this guy speak? What the fuck? So that looks weird. There's this whole kerfluffle about him being on the board of a Ukrainian company when his dad was president. Vice president, sorry. And now he's thinking about stepping down from the Chinese board that he's on. What the fuck is going on? Like, it's so fucking. I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's like those times when I was a really little kid and my brother would do something and blame my sister. And I knew my brother did it. My sister got in trouble. And I'm just sitting there watching it going, what the fuck has happened? Like, I don't fucking get it. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I understand this thing less and less as it goes on. Like, I don't get what the problem is. I don't get what the whole thing is. I know Donald Trump talked to a foreign country and asked him to investigate Joe Biden. I get that everybody thinks that I should think that's a terrible thing, but I think Joe Biden should be investigated. So I need a counter offer to that. I need to know why Joe Biden doesn't need to be investigated before I think the president needs to be impeached. For this, at the very least. So for those of you, my special people, who I talked about earlier in the intro, those of you who want to take this task on, I need you to explain to me why it is that any of this, I should agree with any of this, because it's so stupid. How do you not see that it's so stupid? I don't... Like, it's so sad to read all these comments where it's like people pretending like they're pitying me, and I'm just reading it going, you're so sad. Sometimes this shit breaks my heart, man.